Like and subscribe and click the bell icon to get new video updates.
Labor has inherited an imperfect national electricity market, with a wealth of energy but a poverty of power. Australia's east coast has a wealth of energy sources, but a poverty of electricity being generated. Prices have been skyrocketing by an order of magnitude and are now being capped by a central body. And some generators are choosing not to produce electricity, unless they are compelled to by the market operator, in what appears to be a play for easier profits. It is not a perfect system, Federal Climate Change and Energy Minister Mr Bowen said on Tuesday. Imperfection is quite the understatement. The situation could be more accurately characterised as a complete and utter mess. Put simply, to have enough sources of energy and generation capacity, but potentially not enough electricity reaching homes and businesses, is a failure. The failure is not of any one energy type or any specific target. It is a failure to prepare for an inevitable change to the system as a whole. The shift to predominantly renewable energy sources. It has taken an international energy crisis to reveal the consequences of that failure. Without it, the problems may have remained hypothetical a little longer. A fast-moving Labor government in Canberra may even have had a chance, over 2 terms, to set up the National Electricity Market, NEM, for the change. But after a mere 2 weeks to assess the state of the national electricity market from the perspective of government, Mr Bowen has found it crumbling in his hands. Price caps lead to fears of gaming the system. Coal and gas-fired power generators are facing big spikes in their input costs due to both international and local factors, sending wholesale electricity prices in Australia soaring. Read more. After a week in the stratosphere, a price cap of $300 per megawatt hour, MWH, was automatically triggered under rules overseen by the Australian Energy Market Operator, AEMO. Once this price cap was imposed, some coal and gas-fired generators said they couldn't produce as much electricity and withdrew offers to provide supply to the NEM. That is what prompted the AEMO to warn of the possibility of not having enough electricity to meet peak demand in the evenings in Queensland, and later New South Wales too. The AEMO was forced to direct the generators to offer more supply, which has so far been duly met. So, what is really going on here? If the generators could find electricity supply when forced to, why was it not offered in the first place? Well, the Australian Energy Regulator, AER, appears concerned the generators are gaming the system. When a price cap is imposed, generators can be compensated if they operate at a loss. But if they redirected by the AEMO to offer supply because of a shortfall, better compensation arrangements are on the table. Chair Clare Savage has fired off letters to the generators noting their withdrawal of offers of supply may be motivated by seeking to avoid the compensation scheme for delivering power under a price cap, in favour of the compensation they get if they are forced by the AEMO to provide power. This would be in breach of the rules, with the AER warning it will closely monitor and review bids to withdraw capacity from the market. Rules aside, it would also be morally problematic if electricity generators were playing chicken with the idea of blackouts in winter to improve their profitability. Ms Savage told Channel 7 the AER would meet companies today, alongside government ministers and AEMO, to make sure they are doing what they need to do to keep the system secure and the lights on. A decade of uncertainty has led to an avoidable issue. To be clear, it is unlikely households will experience blackouts or businesses will be forced to cut their energy use, collectively known as load shedding, this week. There is enough supply in the system to avoid load shedding, subject to any further unexpected outages, Mr Bowen reassured Queensland and NSW residents, noting the situation was under very active management by the AEMO. Indeed, the deft handling of the volatile situation by the AEMO has been a bulwark against greater chaos. While noting the problems caused by generators seeking compensation, Labor has stopped short of condemning them. Read more. After all, Mr Bowen will need to work closely with those companies. The ALP's Powering Australia plan sees a crucial role for gas-fired electricity generation as part of the transition to a renewables-based NEM. But the circumstances right now, The prospect of winter blackouts need not have arisen at all. If the electricity sector had more certainty about its future over the last decade, there would likely have been more investment in renewable energy and firming alternatives such as batteries and pumped hydro. This would have seen Australia more insulated from the international market for coal and gas, and with it, fewer opportunities to game